Hey guys, Jonathan Phillips, Max Muscle, Huntington Beach, along with
Sean Torbati, High Performance Nutrition. What's up, guys? How are you today? Hope everyone's having an awesome day. What are we talking about today?
Today we're going to go about bars, how bars can be introduced into your diet and actually if they are good.
Right. For me, I am a nutritionist. That's my degree by trade, and that's what I do on a daily basis aside from HPN, is doing nutrition plans from everyone from regular everyday people who want to be healthier all the way up to pro and Olympic athletes. So bars can be a part of everyone's diet in order to hit your nutrition needs conveniently and easily in a prepackaged and portable manner.
Right.
Do you use bars?
If I don't have my food
right.
Right.
So obviously, with the first thing I'm going to say here is that if you can have a whole food meal, that's always going to be a preferable option. And if you plan your diet as such to where you can have whole food meals, that's great. But for me, for example, I'm going to fly out tonight, and I'm not going to get to where I'm going to in Columbus until tomorrow at 7 a.m. And so I can bring one meal with me or two meals. It starts to get sketchy when you're going to be traveling for 10, 12 hours sometimes. Right. So you want to have maybe a meal that doesn't have a shelf life, that can be subject to temperature change and not having to be cooled or heated or microwaved. Bars are great for that, guys. And if it's this or McDonald's or pizza or whatever you can get in airports or on the road, right, it's going to be this every time.
So if you want to stay on track with your dietary needs and you make up all the excuses, I'm traveling and I don't have time to do anything. Well, how many days a week or how many days a year do you travel?
Right, it's about 200 days a year. So it's more than half the year.
Right, so what we've done today is bring out different types of bars that you can have. Dairy versus not dairy, sugar alcohols, what is a sugar alcohol versus sugar, and maybe some things on why you would recommend one over another.
Right, and so the first thing we'll say is, obviously, this is a great representation of good bar choices, but there's so many more than this. However, the general mold of all these bars is they're all around 200 calories, all around 20 grams of protein, and all around 20 grams of carbohydrates. So around 200 calories and a 1-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein. And then moderate fat on all of them. None of them are super high fat.
Right, and this is to keep you on track.
Yeah.
This isn't a so-called meal,
right,
but it's going to prevent you from eating that 1,500 calorie meal because you're starving.
And if you have a gap in your day, like let's say if you are someone who consistently plans to have a bar every day, like a lot of times I am not, at this moment I'm not, but a lot of times I plan to have bars in my day, especially if I'm traveling. Like when I'm actually on the road, I plan one of my meals to be a bar just because I know that's one-fifth, or 1/6 less pressure on me to have a meal ready. You know what I mean? Because if you want to get great results, you have to take your nutrition seriously.
Well, why would you ever eat a bar in replacement of a meal?
No, I wouldn't. If I could have a whole food meal or a shake with a food carb source, I usually would.
Right. You want to eat food. You want to eat real food.
Yeah.
This is real food, but you want to be able to keep your macronutrients, your proteins, your carbs, and your fats at your certain levels.
Yeah.
And you know what's in the product.
But with that said, life is as such to where I never have that luxury to sit at home with my personal chef every day and have him just cook my food as I want it. Right. So with that said, even though I'm telling you I wouldn't choose a bar over a meal, I always am making that choice because it's the best choice at the time.
Right, and the bars that we have here aren't the ones that you see are 400, 500, 600 calories, 30 grams of fat.
The days of the Supreme bar, with the 30 grams of carbohydrate and 28 protein and 20 fat, those 400 calorie bars, those seem to be gone by the wayside.
Those are done. They still exist, but not that we would recommend.
Yeah, and I don't really see them anymore either because people are getting smarter. As people start to realize that you need to eat a certain amount of calories and a certain amount of macronutrients, carbs, protein, and fat, bars that are catered to that like these start to become more popular. Now, if you're on what I call poverty macros, if you are on the low calorie range, if you can't spare a carb, you haven't had a carb since '98, these bars won't work either. Right. Because you can't even have these. You're drinking shakes and eating meat and veggies only. Right. For example, if you're doing a keto diet, these aren't going to work. You need to have a little bit of carbohydrate, but that's what you need for health reasons anyway. So these work for anyone who's a healthy, normal individual and trying to lose weight or maintain or gain weight. They can work in that. But if you're in the super low calorie range or you have a dietary restriction such as something dumb like keto, you cannot have these bars either. So with that said, let's talk about how and why we chose these bars over others tell us the general classification of these bars.
Well, first off, with all of these bars are gluten-free. And gluten-free seems to be a pretty big deal in this food in general. So we've eliminated the possibility of a gluten-free allergy, hopefully, with these.
Are they all certified gluten-free?
These, I believe, are all certified gluten-free.
Okay. Yeah, no, they are.
They're all going to have
these guys say it. Yeah.
Yeah, they say it, but certified gluten-free.
Yeah, they say they're certified
gluten-free.
And that's Noji's whole pitch.
Right.
You know, at the time, actually, I remember when these came out, like 6-7 years ago. That's what they pitched was, hey, we're gluten-free. Now everyone's kind of just been like, okay, cool, we are too.
Right,
we made that pretty easily.
Right. So the difference between these two, for the most part, these four are, 2 of them have real sugar, and 2 of them have sugar alcohols. What does that mean?
The impact on your blood sugar and other things like your ability to replenish glycogen levels, to build lean muscle mass, even your satiety is going to be impacted by whether or not real sugar is used or sugar alcohols are used or if fiber is used.
Right.
We have them in order from fiber content being the highest all the way down to the lowest, and also with the usage of sugar alcohols being the Quest bar and the One, with the Quest also being pretty low. They just use a little bit to kind of cap it off. It's more of a high fiber bar. The One is very reliant on sugar alcohol.
Right.
So that's not going to make it a great choice for, let's say, post-workout,
right,
but it's going to make it an excellent choice for throughout the day. Minimizing the impact of the bar on your blood sugar, keeping you on an even keel, keeping you satiated while still giving you a sweet, sensation and providing like a dessert-like effect.
Are sugar alcohols good for diabetics?
Yes, yeah, because of the reason that the blood sugar impact being lower, meaning the net response of your blood sugar levels and your blood glucose to taking in the sugar alcohols is lower than an actual sugar source, like dextrose or something like that, you're going to be better suited here having like the One bar as opposed to the Noji bar.
Right. So here at Max Muscle Huntington Beach, we deal with a lot of people, unfortunately, that are type 2 diabetic, not type 1, but type 2 to where their body is becoming resistant to the sugar that's coming in. They can't have blood sugar spikes. So once again, we still want to eat real food. But if you are traveling like Sean does, you can utilize a sugar alcohol ball and not be so concerned with your blood sugar spiking.
And even better so that it's paired with a protein source. That's going to mitigate a lot of the insulin response too and lower the glycemic response as a whole. So having something like the One bar, if you are very sensitive to blood sugar, even if you're not diabetic.
Right.
Let's say if having a lot of sugar makes you feel tired or drowsy or
improving sensitivity.
Yeah, or exactly. You're trying to get healthier and you want to lower sugar out of your diet. A sugar alcohol is kind of a very good moderate medium without necessarily the over fiber intake, because I'll say the bars like the Victory and Quest, they've gone about it in a different way. They're also not high sugar bars, but they use a lot of dietary fiber, and it's a man-made fiber.
Right.
It's a fiber that has been created and has lower calories than a straight gram of sugar, but it can have a bad impact on your digestive system if you're sensitive to it. Right. Most people, I don't know about you, I found do pretty well with 1 bar a day. When you start having more than 1 a day, things do go wrong.
Well, then you're coming off of your diet.
Yeah.
So what do we do in the Victory? The Victory uses 8 grams of sugar. It's coming from agave.
Yeah.
But people, is that too much sugar? I don't want to have any sugar. Well, with 21 grams of protein and 17 grams of fiber, we're still going to blunt that insulin response.
Yeah, and that's not very much. If it was 4 grams of sugar, that's not very much.
Right, there's 8 in there.
8? Okay, got it.
But in the Noji, this is something that people will come in, I am next to a gym, I need something to eat really quick. You've got real sugar.
Yeah.
You have protein isolate in here, albeit soy. It's something that's going to break down a lot quicker because it doesn't have as much fiber going into your body.
Right. So again, what we would say is these are going to be great bars for throughout the day, more so the Quest and the One with the lower sugar. The Victory bar could be used post-workout, but still not preferable. I would say this is like a good earlier in the day bar, or if you don't mind having a little bit of sugar, because again, they're using the agave nectar as opposed to artificial sweetener that Quest uses now in most of the flavors, actually, the better tasting ones. So a couple grams of sugar here, much lower here, next to 0 here, and then again, this is being just straight sugar used in the bar, and again, not a bad thing. It depends on the time of the day. The texture is also something to consider. This is going to be much more multi-dimensional in its texture because it has those little rice balls in it. So it's a little bit more like crunchy and a better mouthfeel, more like a candy bar or something that you might be used to.
Right.
Whereas the One is very soft, and it's not a texture-based bar, but it has very great taste, and that's what a lot of people like about it. The Quest and the Victory both have texture in them, like, you know, both of them have chocolate chips in them. So there's some differentiated with that soft base on both of those. You know, but being higher fiber, they are a little bit firmer. Not by any means of the protein bars of the 90s, but they're a little bit firmer.
But you're taking it for a reason. Also,
Yeah.
we chose these two because of the flavor content.
Yeah.
As far as Quest bar goes, we carry all 18 flavors. As far as the one bar, there are 9 flavors, and here at Max Muscle Huntington Beach, we have them all. No G has 5, and the Victory has 9 as well. So if you're looking for any bars or what suggestions to use on bars, come on down to Max Muscle Huntington Beach, 714 Adams Avenue in Huntington Beach, California. We've got everything you need, from pills, powders, potions, to lotions. You want it, we got it. You need it, we can get it.
And that goes for protein bars as well.